All right, so we're back. Been gone for, I don't know, I streamed about 3 hours ago. And then I went to a yoga class and then I taught a yoga class. So I'm back and it's time to get back to work. Looking at the news, just so you know, I don't trade on Top Step anymore. If you do, nothing against it. It's just not for me. We'll keep it at that. I'm pretty outspoken about it on X, how I feel, and it's just more about how they do things and the support experience that I've had with them that I just don't believe them. So it doesn't mean they're not a good firm. Okay, so it's just not the firm for me. So I still have access to the market news though, because this is the only platform I had financial juice on at the moment. So I still use it for news. So thank you, Top Step. It's one of the things that you get with Project X. You get access to the financial juice feed. So it's not a bad thing necessarily. Actually, it's a good thing. So kudos and thank you, Top Step. So where I left off at the last stream was that we'll kind of review. First thing I did was looked at a commitment of traders report through last Tuesday. So they submitted on Wednesday, comes out on Friday. So it doesn't cover previous Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So what actually happened on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just price action wise? Well, if we look at, that's ETH. Okay, this is all traded volume. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were pretty consolidated and range bound on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on Friday, we return to test the value area high, or nearly, almost. And price continued to move up before settling down here in this value area right here. So price moved up, and that was mainly because of the news that the ceasefire was in place. Now, interesting here, the point of control migrated down, and then the point of control migrated up, and then price opened and closed outside of value. Now let's just look at an RTH version of this. Let's see how it looks on RTH. Okay. So for retail trading hours, it was a little different story. The point of control migrated up all 3 days. Yet on the third day, the amount of momentum decreased significantly from the day before. So I still think there's some sellers waiting to sell up here, and maybe even up here again. And I think there's buyers that are waiting to buy down here, maybe even down here. So that is generally what it looks like on a daily profile. We are migrating the POC up, and we found a strong rejection outside of value, returned to the previous value area before closing above it, so we need to hold this level. Else I'm looking probably to short, potentially back down if we can't hold this POC from the previous day. Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry. Looking back at financial juice now. There was a stalemate in negotiations this morning at 10:30. They're setting conditions, U.S. military said, for clearing mines out. 2 U.S. warships transited the Strait of Hormuz and operated in the Gulf. Okay. Many U.S. forces invoking underwater drones will join in clearance in the coming days. Another round of negotiations will likely be held tonight or tomorrow. Last efforts are being made to close the gap between Iran and U.S. in talks. Israel to tell Lebanon delegation of the need for the Lebanese army to take action against Hezbollah. U.S. is continuing with its lavish demands in talks. Dispatched fighter jets and other military forces to Saudi Arabia to enhance security under a defense pact on Saturday. Oh, Pakistan dispatched. Okay. State of Hormuz remains one main point of serious dispute in Islamabad talk. Okay. Talks continue while Iran insists on preserving its military gains. Third session of Iran negotiation to be held tonight. Netanyahu struck targets throughout Iran and broke the barrier of fear in adding against it. What? Acting against it. What? Struck targets throughout Iran and broke the barrier of fear in acting against it. Weird. Netanyahu is not backing down. What the fuck? Israel, Iran no longer possesses any uranium enrichment facility. What the fuck is going on? Israel Prime Minister will negotiate with Lebanon on 2 conditions: a peaceful agreement and a disengagement of Hezbollah. Israel, if want true peace pact, it wants a true peace pact with Lebanon. Israeli Prime Minister, if we didn't launch Operation Roaring Lion in Rising Lion, Iran would have had a nuclear bomb. So that's what Israel is saying. Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif take emergency trip to Saudi Arabia regarding the Iran talks and the U.S. talks. Ukrainian military. It has noted 469 Russian violations of Easter ceasefire since it went into effect. New round of 3-way negotiations among Iran and U.S. Pakistan have begun. A lot happened in 3 hours. Current round of talks may be last opportunity to reach a framework with the U.S. Negotiations had positive results. Stalemate persists regarding control of the Strait of Hormuz. Negotiations had positive results. Okay. Press conference is possible if it can accord and be reached tonight. All right, whatever. Maybe they reach a deal, maybe they do not. Trump. Regardless of what happens, we win. Trump. We are in very deep negotiations with Iran. Trump. They probably have a couple of mines in water. Trump. We have minesweepers out there. We are sweeping the strait. Trump. Makes no difference to me if there is a deal with Iran. Trump. China will have big problems if it ships arms to Iran. Trump. Attempts by military vessels trying to cross the strait will be met with decisive response. Iran military guard corps. Only non-military vessels allowed to transit Strait of Hormuz. Iran. Iran's parliament speaker shook hands with RVP, and the mood of the meeting was friendly and calm. New York Times citing Iranian officials. Only non-military vessels allowed to transit Hormuz under specific regulations. Okay, so nothing to report basically. All I see there is that they haven't come to terms. Israel is still interested in doing more work in Iran. Trump is posturing like he doesn't give a shit whether they come to a deal or not. It doesn't matter. He's claiming victory. And if that's the case, they would need to concede all of the points that Iran is saying that the United States need to concede. Therefore, in my humble opinion, nothing's changed. So from a market standpoint, I don't really see us moving too much higher or lower until we see some type of result and effort to move things either into a better place or a worse place regarding the conflict. So that's our update. We'll see what happens later, and we'll come back and maybe do another video. So in the meantime, we have our range. We have some areas highlighted in green where we expect price to have a reaction and response to sellers, and vice versa, where we expect sellers to respond to any buying pressure at these higher prices. So until next time, that's the update. Happy trading, y'all.